some background information. The suspension bridge was invented in the 1400s, and the cables were originally made of vines. Later, when the people who made suspension bridge cables decided to add bamboo to make them a little bit stronger. After that, the suspension bridge cables became chains, and eventually they became actual cables. But the one problem that all the chains, bamboo, and vines had was that if one link or one strand or one vine broke, the whole bridge could collapse. So here I have carbide, and it's a recently discovered material that's very strong, but if it touches another chain of carbide, it will explode. So speaking of exploding, there are stronger materials, but they're either too thin, too brittle, too flexible, or combustible, as that is. Now I need a volunteer. Ooh, Jack.
Dang it!
Put those on.
I thought you were going to say me.
Audience members.
So hold the stick and just keep it level. So this represents a beam bridge, and I'm going to pull this weight until the bridge breaks.
It's like spaghetti.
At 4 pounds, 5 pounds, it broke at 5 pounds. So now we'll do a shorter distance for it, and so that's 7 pounds. It broke at 7 pounds. This represents that the beam bridge is better over shorter distances, and I don't have a cheap suspension bridge to break, so I can't break it. So now over here I have a fun fact, and it is that there are bridges in China that are hundreds of years old, but they're arch bridges and they're still standing. Suspension bridges are generally better for busier, more populated areas and longer waterways. And another material is graphene, and it is thinner than gold leaf, but it takes more force to break. It's only 1 atom thick. And then cables on suspension bridges are breaking daily. And I think they need a new material, because if they didn't if they had a new material, it might not break as easily, and it could be safer for people, and the suspension bridge would last longer. So some basic facts, and then my CI tool to wrap it up would be suspension bridges can spin thousands of feet. The Brooklyn Bridge, which is a suspension bridge, can hold. It has granite pillars and links Manhattan and Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Bridge cost $15 million back when they built it to build, but nowadays it would be $300 million.
Cool.
And then my CI tool, I did a Venn diagram comparing suspension bridges and other bridges. So suspension bridges have an anchor in a hill or large concrete block, which keeps tension on the cables so that the road doesn't collapse. And then they're great for spanning busy waterways that people drive over frequently. And the deck, also known as a road, has a truss system built under it, which keeps it from waving around in a storm like you see in the movies. Instead, it just wobbles a little bit. Other bridges are they are generally better for shorter spans, lower populated areas. And another fun fact is that 13% of bridges in the U.S. are rated structurally defective by their inspectors. both types of bridges, they both support a certain amount of weight, but suspension bridges hold more than other types of bridges. Then a couple types of bridges are suspension bridges, truss bridges, which is a bunch of like triangles linked together. The arch bridge, which is has an arch under it, but it's generally better for a short crossing. And a beam bridge, which is what I broke over there. Some suspension bridges like that you would know of would be the Golden Gate Bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge, and then one that you might not know of is the Chain Bridge, and it's located in Budapest, Hungary. So, thanks for watching, and I'll take questions and comments.
Questions?
Drew.
Do you know what year carbine was discovered?
I know it was recently discovered. I'm not sure of the year.
You think it was like 2010?
Important question. Probably last 15 years. Jack.
Can carbine break if it touches like normal metal?
I'm not sure. I didn't study that. Jack.
Why did you choose to study the suspension bridges?
Because when I went to Budapest, I saw the Chain Bridge, and I thought it was really cool. So I wanted to study that for it.
What was the first bridge that they used in suspension? What was the first suspension bridge?
I think it was the Incas, if I remember correctly. Drake.
Is the carbine wire, isn't it wrapped around, like two wires that have been wrapped around each other?
It's not actually, it's just like a nano chain. And if one nano chain touches another, like if they were trying to make a cable, it would explode.
Do you know why?
Okay, one more question.
I'm not sure. But,
About the metal that is in the cube and the two sticks,
yes.
which metal is that?
Oh, those are tungsten, chromium, and steel.
Excellent. How about
And one
compliments
of
for
them you said
Connor?
was thinner than gold.
I like your suspension bridge up top.
Drew.
I like that small suspension.
Yes, that was good.
Drake.
I like your small bridge.
Sophie.
I really liked how you pretty much looked at this the entire time and you were telling us some information about it that I had almost like never heard of. So,
Jack.
I like these glasses.
Hayden.
I like your experiment.
Thank you. Buck.
I like it when you broke the stick.
Jack.
I like the black and white theme.
Jack.
I like your other suspension bridge.
Connor, I really thought you had a lot of confidence today, and not only were you able to look at us like Sophie said, but I thought your posture was very good. The way you stood looked confident. You didn't shuffle your feet or play with anything. You just stood very professionally and presented, which looked great. And then I also noticed your transitions. You kind of guided us through the presentation. As you finished one section, you let us know what you were going to talk about next. So it was very well organized, which helped your audience stay focused. And personally, you made a topic very interesting to me that I really knew nothing about. So that's a great skill to be able to take something that gets us excited about it as you share. Awesome job.